Is Cuba about to look a little bit more like America? It's time to blow the whistle. After 50 years of being cut off from trade, the US has finally decided to lift its trade embargo with Cuba. Now this is huge news because at one time the US accounted for nearly 70% of Cuba's international trade. And for 50 years, all of that suddenly just disappeared. It would be like if all of the Starbucks just disappeared from North America. Our nations would suffer greatly. The embargo has placed huge restrictions on trade, which created a scarcity of things like food, medicine, clean water, and even cars. It's like you've stepped out of a time machine, thinking that you're in the 1960s, and then just realizing, holy shit, we're just in Cuba. It's a funny picture. So obviously there is a lot of development that needs to happen in Cuba. But what does this exactly mean for these two old rivals?
I think the last time I went, I brought back Cuban rum, Havana Club, Havana Gold for like $4.
Did you now?
I think that's what it cost then. Maybe it was $5. Think of how all of that will shift if this actually happens.
Yes, paying another $30 for a bottle of rum is certainly a tragedy. Not exactly what I was thinking though.
The last thing they need is a Taco Bell and a Lowe's. I mean...
Exactly. Now that the trade force barriers are being neutralized, big American corporations are going to be first in line to enter Cuba's borders, just like the people lining up for the new Jordans. We've seen what happens when countries become more modern or globalized. Before we know it, Cuba will have a McDonald's and a Burger King on every corner and have culturally specific menu items. Like, with every Big Mac, you get a free revolutionary hat. El Revolucion muy delicious. Here's actually a fun fact. There is one McDonald's that exists in Cuba, and you can find those golden arches at Guantanamo Bay. And guess what? The Cubans aren't even allowed to go in. It's only for the guards. Wow. Now you can deprive the Cuban people of food and medicine, but how dare you deprive them of a McRib? Yeah. Horrible. Yeah. Before the embargo, US citizens weren't even allowed to travel to Cuba. And a couple years ago, US lawmakers were especially angry that a certain king and queen decided to vacation in Cuba. I am, of course, referring to King J and Queen B.
Jay-Z is defending his trip to Cuba. Some saying that the rapper should be denouncing the oppressive Cuban regime. Several lawmakers sent a couple of letters. Do you expect any response from this letter?
Yeah, maybe he'll write a rap song for me.
I got 99 problems, but going to Cuba ain't one. I would hope that America's lawmakers have a little more important things on their plate than writing a blasting letter to Jay-Z and Beyonce. I think they should be focusing a little less on blasting J and Bay and a little more on, blasting Guantanamo Bay. Believe it or not, Cubans receive low housing and transportation costs, free education, healthcare and food subsidies, and they have amazing environmental standards. So Cuba has an opportunity to flourish as a nation after this blockade. Let's just hope that the US doesn't use this opportunity to screw them over and make the country a little bit more red, white, and blue. What's that? Their flag is already red, white, and blue? Uh-oh, that's not good. Blow the whistle, people. Thanks for watching.